the countdown.
I think he's frozen.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, all right. I believe Jerry Green is frozen at the moment. I'm sure they'll fix it, but welcome to Sports Talk. I'm Bishop Ernest D. Richard Jr., Henry Green. Coming on very shortly, our CEO and the leader of the group, Jerry Green, along with Bruce Alston and Big Don from Big Don Productions. And joining us shortly, Pastor Walter Teague, along with Larry Pearson. Great show coming up tonight. We need you to stand by. Do not walk away because you don't want to miss this. Henry, how you doing, bro?
I am doing good, Bishop. How are you, man?
I'm trying my best to maintain. I don't want to get into there are hot topics. I mean, this past week, football was absolute crazy. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, things that we thought were going to happen never took place, and the things we thought would take place never happened. I mean, and on top of that, what's still up for grabs is that number one seed in the NFC.
That's right.
AFC is still within striking distance, man. So we got a lot to talk about as we patiently wait for the return of.
I think it's going to Minnesota and Detroit going to come down to them two as far as who can win, because the loss for the Eagles really kind of knocked them out of that, of getting that number one seed now, you know. But Minnesota and Detroit, that last game, man.
And you know the thing about it is, I don't want to look past the Packers because I mean the best position they could be in is the 6th seed, and they very well could.
Who got to play the Packers next week?
The Packers are playing, I believe, this coming Sunday, and I got to think because I just saw it like seconds ago. I don't know if the Packers are playing the 49ers, I believe, this coming Sunday.
Because I ain't know that as a divisional game.
And then, and I mean, and I know Minnesota's playing back-to-back divisional games. Actually, no. This coming Sunday, Minnesota and the Packers are playing. And then the following week, the Packers are playing the 49ers. And I forgot who the Lions are playing. But the truth of the matter is that's going to determine the division between the Lions and the Vikings. But the other thing I want to look at is, although they've got a number one seed sewn up, there is still a possibility for Kansas City to lose that number one seed. But I don't see them dropping 2 straight games.
Right, they have to drop the two games.
Not going to happen.
Right, I don't see it happening either.
Yeah, and I know we talked about that Eagles game, and we're still waiting for Jerry and company to come back. Oh my God!
This week, I think he got played the Steelers. I think.
Who they played this? Who's playing the Steelers? The Eagles?
No, Kansas City. Kansas City. They're playing Christmas. They're playing on Wednesday.
Yes, I do believe they are playing the Steelers. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I should have.
Yeah, I don't have it either. But I know it's a tough team, but I'm not expecting to win.
I do too.
You know, but Pittsburgh, they're a tough team, and so now if you guys got to play Green Bay, that's a big game.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna go with what KOC Kevin O'Connell says. We got another 1-0 game coming up. We gotta win this one, regardless of how we do it. They're coming to us, which is a good thing because we beat them in Green Bay. So we've got to play them. And really, Jordan Love, I'm very sure they've studied the tapes when they last played us. I'm very sure they figured out how to guard Jefferson and Addison at the same time. Now, here's our thing. We need Hockenson, Oliver, Naylor, and our other backup receiver to really, really step up. Aaron Jones has to have the game of his life. And I mean, what I mean by that is Aaron Jones, you can't come in with 2 and 3 yard gains. You got to break some running. You got to break it open so that we can move forward and get the passing game moving. Green Bay, on the other hand, their defense is, wow, they're in the top 7. I can tell you that now. And they are not going to let you just come in and run over them like they don't exist. They are going to be aggressive. You about to say?
No, because Walt flashed up on the text saying somebody said they can't hear us, but I can't text them back on my phone. I use my phone as the camera.
Wow. I mean, I would love to text them back. Okay, there they are. They're back now. And back with us is Jerry Green, Bruce Austin, and Big Don from Big Don Productions. And before we begin, gentlemen, I want to say thank you to every one of you who were on the toy drive this past week. An awesome time. I couldn't be there. I'm just going to have to say I missed it, and my heart's broken because I missed it, but I know y'all had a good time. Good evening, Jerry.
Great, Bishop. It was great.
Thank you guys. First of all, thank you guys for holding the fort down, man, because my big feet hit the plug and it knocked us off. Yeah. Y'all talking about that's why.
Hey, Don. So those 8.5s are bigger than we thought, right? No, let me stop.
I was glad it wasn't me because I did it one time.
Oh my God!
That proves that Dak is American speed. I'm gonna start out with that. Just put some blue.
Wow.
I'm gonna start with. Hey, first of all, this is our sports talk. I apologize for my delay, but we have the legend Bruce Austin. What's up, Bruce?
Everything's beautiful, though.
Big Don Production.
Everything's good. Everything's good.
We got one of the greatest pastors in the world, Pastor Walter Teague.
God bless you. How's everyone tonight?
And my great friend, one of the greatest bishops, Ernest Richard Jr. What's up, my brother?
No, I was going to have to go to the hospital for medication yesterday.
All right, Mikey. And my brother from Florida. What's up, Henry? How you doing?
Good. How's everybody? How you doing, bro?
All right. Listen. We was arguing before we came on the air. And I'm still saying about Cooper Rush, I'm not saying that he's a better quarterback than Dak. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. I said the Cowboys look more relaxed when Cooper Rush is playing. Like they're not under no pressure. I know Pastor Walter Teague said the Cowboys been eliminated out of the playoffs. I understand that part. But Tampa Bay won 4 in a row. They're trying to play for the playoff spot. Cowboys look pretty good, man. Bruce, let me just talk to me. You think I'm being hard on Dak, right?
No, but
talk to me.
I really don't understand what you're saying because
I said they look more confident. They look more relaxed. That's all I'm saying.
Like I said, I don't have no argument with that. I'm saying they should be more relaxed because Rush don't have the pressure on him that Dak did.
Right.
Like I said before, when Dak playing, they passing the ball 80% of the time. So the defense keep the pressure on Dak. If you watch the Cowboys game, every game, Dak running for his life.
Okay.
With Rush, he passing the ball off 80% of the time. Not that he can't throw the ball. They just made it a little easier for him.
Okay.
What was they saying all year? Dallas need a running game. Come to find out they got a running game. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, but I said Rush played great. He played great. He's still he part of the Cowboy family. I don't have nothing against him.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna say there's a reason that he's a backup.
The reason why he's a backup.
There's a reason.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Don. I'm gonna go with these guys, man.
I think Rush should start next year.
Because
the only reason Dak is out there because he's the highest paid player. You can't have a $50 man on the bench and a $50 million man in the game. That's probably what I'm saying. But y'all can say Rush is a backup, but has he ever had a chance to start and see what he can really do with carrying the team? Why didn't he have a shot? Because, like I said, you can't have a $50 man on the bench and a $50 million man in the game. 3 or 4 years ago when Dak got hurt, Rush did the same as that. Yeah, but how late in the season was that? Let me finish.
Right.
Rush did the exact same thing, right?
Yep.
Everybody said in the off season, since he played so good, somebody can pick him up from that and make him a starter.
Right.
They got 28, 30 teams in the NFL?
and after them 4 years, nobody still don't want him for a starter. And if Jerry Jones is a good businessman, he doesn't resign Dak, right or wrong. He doesn't resign.
I never said it was a good business.
No. I'm saying he just resigned Dak.
Yeah.
If he thought Cooper Rush could give him a better chance to win the Super Bowl, you think he would have gave Dak $60 million?
If he was so smart, Dallas would have a better team and be winning.
Yeah, well,
you know, we all make mistakes.
Yeah, but a whole lot of them ain't never won a Super Bowl. A lot of them ain't never won a Super Bowl.
But that's why I brought up Steve Young. Steve Young, I mean, even though he backed up Joe Montana, but nobody picked him up either. Steve Young, nobody picked him up for years.
Yeah,
Steve
that's
Young.
because the 49ers paid him big money to keep him there.
Rod sit on the bench. Absolutely.
Yeah, let me ask you guys a question. Maybe I could be wrong. You remember the year Tampa Bay won their first Super Bowl? Didn't the backup quarterback that was with Minnesota get them to the playoffs before their quarterback came back and took them to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl and won? I mean, backup quarterback's got a good spot. Rush is just playing great football right now. I don't know who's calling the plays, him or from the bench or from the booth or whatever, but whoever's play calling did a great job yesterday, man. I was shocked to see how well Dallas played yesterday. And Bruce, you know, I ain't against you, bro, because we Nick brothers for life, man. So, you know, I ain't throwing you under the bus, but I got to say, honestly, your team looked like a playoff team last night.
Yeah. You know what? And a lot of them guys just came back from injury, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of guys on the defense. And like I was saying a couple of weeks ago, I don't like Diggs. Diggs is not that good to me since he came back. Got a rookie out there in Diggs' spot, playing his butt off. You know what I mean? That's the difference in that defense. Them corners playing now. Jordan Lewis. Look at the game Jordan Lewis had. All them guys was out, in and out the lineup. Now all of them healthy. Bland, all of them healthy. Parsons. That make a big difference.
Was disrupting them left and right last night, man.
All right, go ahead, Pastor Walt. Let my brothers speak on that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Dak hater. I'm just, go ahead, Pastor.
Well, Cooper Rush is doing his job. He's a great backup, and that's what he's doing. He's doing his job. The Cowboys look good, and like they were talking about, his persona, he's a even kill person. He doesn't get too high, too low, and they feed off that. But the thing about it is, like Bishop was just saying, the Cowboys look good yesterday, man. I mean, if this was the first 5 games of the season or whatever, their last 4 or 5 games, they'd be in the hunt for the playoff.
That's right.
You got CeeDee Lamb playing with a hurt shoulder, and he going all out. You know, you got these guys, them rookies, Bland and all those guys, you know, came back. You know, he was shutting down their wide receiver. They look good. The defense is hustling around, and they're still missing some key players, but they're playing for their coach, because they got eliminated before they even took the field. CeeDee Lamb's hurt. He could have said, you know, I want to rest his shoulder until next year. He was out there. He was out there balling, man. And they had nothing to play for except for pride. And they were showing that, you know, they were doing their thing, man. They look good.
Amen.
You know what that do for the rest of the guys? Like you said, they know his shoulder messed up.
Sure.
And he came out there and played. You know what the rest of the guys gonna do? They're gonna say, man, we gotta give it 200%.
Right.
I mean,
they were playing hard. Yeah, they definitely.
And you talk about your Cowboys, man.
Yeah, they played good. I wish, you know, they would, the way they were playing the last few games, I wish they were playing like that to start the season, but they haven't. And there's a lot of different reasons. You know, the running game, like they didn't run the ball that good last night.
They
but
did.
3 games up to that, they really ran the ball good. So they're just playing a lot better. So hopefully, you know, they can build on that, and next year maybe they can start off better.
So I got a question, Jerry. I got a question. What do you think? What do you guys think? We'll throw this out. What do you think about, look at all the teams that had holdouts this year. None of them made the playoffs. The 49ers, those guys held out, Debo and Trent Williams. The Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb held out. Cincinnati, you know, had the holdout. Every one of those teams that had holdouts, not one of them made the playoff. And they were playoff teams last year. What do you think about that?
Oh, well, I can't answer that. Yeah, but like the 49ers, I mean, a team that made the Super Bowl, last year, and I don't even know they're in the playoffs this year.
No,
No, they're not.
No,
No.
they got
They're
But-
eliminated.
But that's why. But it goes to show that because even Friday we talked about the Buffalo Bills. You know, you never know season by season where you're going to be at. So when you're hot, you got to go for it. I can't answer. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what the bad thing is about Cincinnati?
What's that?
They have a great offense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And no kind of defense.
None. Not a little bit.
They got a good. If they could win off of their offense, they would. Because their offense is, they got T. Higgins on one side, Chase on one side, Burrow. They got a great offense, man.
Okay.
But their defense is
But they're
terrible.
gonna lose. They're gonna lose T. Higgins because they franchise him. They ain't gonna resign him. They can't pay him and Chase. And Chase
They
won
have
his money.
franchise one, right?
Yeah, they franchised T. Higgins this year, and they didn't pay Chase because he's only in his third year. You know, you gotta wait for next year. So he's gonna want that same kind of money that
next year.
JJ's getting. So they can't pay both of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I'm not mistaken. Who's the running back that they picked up?
Chase Brown.
Yeah, and is he in any contention for any extra money in the coming year?
No, they got rid of Joe Mixon. They didn't.
Yeah.
You know, so you know.
Yeah, I know Mixon for the Texans. And that's going to be a problem for the Texans next year because somebody's got to eat the rest of Mixon's contract. And you know Cincinnati ain't looking forward to it.
Texans just picked up that wide receiver too that's got waived.
Well, tell you what, for us, Minnesota, we're waiting, and they didn't get eliminated last night, but if they get eliminated next week, they're trying to pick up a particular lineman from the Dolphins, in which I hope they do, because that would shore up our line, man, keep Darnold off the floor a little bit longer, you know? We need him. After last night's performance, I said, Jerry, earlier, I thought I was going to go to the hospital for medication, man. Vikings have me on life support.
So, Bishop, one of the topics my brother got up here, Detroit and Minnesota, they're tied at 13-2. Which team are you picking to win the number one seed in the NFC? I'll start with you since Minnesota's your team.
You don't have to ask me. You can see it crystal clear. Need I say another word? And see, I want to remind you that of the two losses that Detroit had, they barely beat the Vikings by 2 points. Field goal in the last 7 seconds of the game, if you remember. So I'm going to look for a repeat performance, only this time the outcome will be a little bit different. I'd like to believe that Brian Flores is going to, and then on top of it, Detroit has a lot of minor holes in their defense as well as in their offense. Montgomery's out with the MCL tear, and they've got a lineman and a secondary individual that's going to be out. Now they're getting one back, and I can't think of his name either. But truth of the matter is, I see Minnesota having the upper hand this trip. And if I don't want to look past Green Bay, because if Minnesota looks past Green Bay, it's over anyway. So
right, go ahead, Pastor.
Well, that's what I was just saying. That's your problem right there. Is Green Bay. Green Bay looks good. They're getting healthy. The defense is playing good. I was just going to say that's the problem. They got to worry about Green Bay first, you know. But I do thank you for beating Seattle. Rams are in first place. I like that, you know. But y'all got to worry about Green Bay, man.
Wow.
See, hey, you should have returned the favor to us when you had the opportunity.
Go ahead, Henry. Talk about Detroit or Minnesota. That's one of your topics, man.
Yeah, I don't know who Detroit's playing this Sunday, but I know Minnesota, they got a tough game. I think Minnesota's at home.
They are.
Green Bay to go there. They're playing good, but right now, Minnesota can't even think about that game. They gotta win this game. So because in order for them to even have a chance, they gotta go and at least be tied with Detroit going into that last game. So so where's that last game going to be? Anybody know? Is it going to be Detroit or Minnesota?
We got to look it up. We'll look it up. We'll find out. Don, what do you think about Detroit?
I don't know.
Detroit's playing the 49ers this week. That's going to be a pretty easy win.
Yeah.
Easy win.
Yeah, and the Vikings playing the Packers, so that's a tough one.
Right.
49ers easy win now all of a sudden. Right, it was in the Super Bowl.
Well,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
they ain't the same team, man.
the 49ers are too beat up to even make any kind of noise, man. They're too beat up to do anything. You know,
I talk about Detroit and
Well,
Minnesota.
I'm definitely going with the Lions on that one. You know, I like Minnesota's chances this year better than I did last year or any other year. I like their chances, but I think the Lions gonna beat them all. Like I said, when we get there, the best gonna win.
Okay, it's
Right.
no more Sunday, right? Go ahead, Bruce. Now go with Larry.
Yeah, I like Minnesota because of all the injuries that Detroit got.
Okay.
I think Minnesota they playing too good to let Detroit beat them with all those injuries.
Okay, because of the injuries, that's why I go with Minnesota.
Yeah,
Just because of the injuries.
definitely.
All right, Larry, Detroit.
If Detroit had their full squad,
You go with Detroit.
definitely Detroit.
Larry, what about you, Detroit or Minnesota?
You got to go with lean toward Minnesota now, just because of the injury factor. They got about 15 players that out start.
Wow.
You know, their defense is non-existent. They get after you sometimes, but they got no quality back there. They don't have really no starters back there, and they don't have a secondary that can control Minnesota. Minnesota got awesome receivers, and they would have to score a lot of points to keep up. And Minnesota got a good defense, and their defense is going to be the thing that wins the game.
Didn't Detroit lose their running back too?
yeah, Montgomery.
They got one running back. That's Swift.
They got Gibbs, but they lost Montgomery.
They got Gibbs, they got Swift, but they lost their number one, which was Montgomery.
Wow. Okay. And what about your boys, Larry? The Chiefs, man. They won again. They're what's their record? 14-1, man. God.
14-1.
That ankle.
All right.
You know,
what about what?
they just starting to peak, and they getting ready to pick up two players. They're going to pick up two players. Listen to me. They're going to get defensive lineman and another star receiver before the playoff starts.
Mm.
So they're peaking now, you're saying?
If they go on course like they are right now, people are coming back, and they got all the weapons they need.
But I know you're going with them anyway, so I'm not even gonna ask you.
There's no doubt.
They're gonna get the repeat. What you think about that? Pastor Wall, Kansas City, man, 14-1.
But the thing about it, is they're getting healthy now. Hollywood Brown just came back. You know, that was his first game this Sunday. They added Hopkins. You know, they got the number one and number two active receivers. They got the most catches with Kelsey and Hopkins, and now Hollywood Brown. They just added him. They got Pacheco, and they added the other running back when Pacheco was out. They're getting healthy now. The only thing about in Mahomes, he looked pretty good with that bum ankle there. You see him running the ball there with that hurt ankle. So to me, their defense isn't as good as it was last year. You know, especially their secondary. So, but yeah, there was an opportunity when they was winning them close games to get them, but now they're getting healthy. So yeah, if their defense can pick it up, and they usually do it this time, like Chris Jones, he's getting that Aaron Donald effect now. They're just loading up on him. They ain't letting him get nowhere near the quarterback. Before he was wrecking games. Now, they're looking for someone else to do it. But yeah, they look good now.
Hey, Walt, you see what else Kansas City doing? You see, Pacheco been back a couple of weeks now, right?
Yeah.
And they give him most of the load, the hunt.
Yes.
So Pacheco,
they have to.
But you know why? Because he's the same kind of player, but he's more versatile, and they letting Pacheco rest up. That's what I said.
Exactly.
Pacheco was out, and they did, a masterful job. I mean, that's a great front office. You lose all your wide receivers, you go get DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, come on now. And then you lose Pacheco, and you'll get Hunt from, we don't know what he was doing, selling ice cream. He wasn't playing. He was, and he's perfect fit. He's perfect fit. He came from Kansas City. They drafted him.
That's right.
He fit the mold. He knows their play. That's just,
I think he was on somebody's practice squad, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they signed him to their
They drafted him, picked him off, and because he got some trouble, and they said his reputation.
So that's why they let him go. But they let him go in his prime. But I'm saying, Pacheco went down. He was the perfect match. He knew their organization. He didn't want to leave. It was one of those, save face. He got in trouble. One of those domestic kind of things, and they let him go. But
You know what?
Perfect
I
fit.
still say that I haven't heard nobody else say it, but Pacheco, you know, like they say, is always somebody come along to resemble somebody from the past. I still say that Pacheco reminds me more about Walter Payton, the way he used to run. Because this guy's legs don't never stop moving. You know what I mean? And he'll run you over.
You know what, Bruce? And I mean,
Yeah,
Walter
angry
Payton
runner.
is a real good example. I kind of had him more like Seattle, Marshawn Lynch, beast mode, because he could plow a pile. No. I'm not talking about. Hold on, time out. I'm not talking about how good he is. He had the ability to plow a pile. And when Pacheco was healthy, and you know yourself, Larry, because you watched the game, Pacheco could plow a pile. Lynch could do the same exact thing.
He's hungry. He's more like Lynch than he is Walter Payton, though. I mean, come on now. Yeah, he's more like Lynch than Walter Payton. But
the only reason I agree.
But that's what I just said.
Body frame is Walter Payton had.
Yeah, I agree.
He's supposed to run guys over. You know what I mean? Walter Payton ran him over, and he wasn't that big.
No, he wasn't that big. No.
You know what I mean? Pacheco run him over just like Walter Payton was doing.
Right, well, I can agree with that.
He's fast.
Yes.
He's fast.
Yes.
Too, and he's a powerful guy. And then what is he like? A 5th or 6th round draft pick? I mean, he wasn't nobody.
Here go my brother, Henry. Kansas City Chiefs, man. Talking about them, man. They're 14-1. These guys saying that they're at their peak now. You see them going all the way now. What? Is it almost
they got all the offensive weapons back except for Rice. I don't know if he's coming back or he's out for the whole season.
Yeah,
my only concern with Kansas City is the offensive line. I think on their left side, behind Packers, that's my only concern because the guy that they brought in to help the other guy out, he got hurt. So that's my only weakness that I see with them as far as the offensive line on that, as far as for pass protection for Patrick Mahomes. But other than that, man, they look good because the way Buffalo was struggling against New England, they look like they stepped back. So Kansas City look good. They look like, to me, like they're going to the Super Bowl. You know, now listen, if Baltimore can't stop them, I don't see nobody else in the AFC right now, the way Kansas City looks, to stop them from going to the Super Bowl.
Buffalo lost 2 defensive backs and a linebacker. Milano's out.
Wow.
And 2 of the defensive backs are out too. So
see, I didn't know that. No wonder New England looked so good.
Tomorrow is out.
Kansas City, 14-1. What you think?
Well, ain't much to add. These guys pretty much said it all. I hear what Henry was saying about that little weak spot they got, but Mahomes take care of his own self. He know how to run. So
very true.
On that side, Mahomes going the other way. So I don't even see them having that weak spot right there, right now.
I didn't see it last night.
No, I just think everybody that said it, Kansas City, they're gonna be definitely the team to beat right now. If you want to get that, if you want that big brain, you got to go.
All right, so we had to bow down to Larry then. Oh my God!
Yeah, you want to go right now, Casey, let's play.
Larry, I'm so happy that Larry is so up. You know why? And I'm gonna say it. If it don't happen, I'll just eat my words. We'll see you in the Super Bowl, pal. That's all I'm gonna say.
Minnesota.
I told Super Bowl's going through Minnesota. It's
yeah,
going through
I'm
Minnesota.
saying we will see you in the Super Bowl.
But you see how things play out, though? We were talking about the hottest team all year when I was talking about, Kansas City wasn't playing that way. They was winning. But I said Detroit can beat them. And Bruce just said Detroit got 15. But Larry said 15
people out.
Players hurt.
Now, I'm going to tell you who to look out for, Walt. I'm going to tell you better. And I'm not going to get too cocky with Minnesota because they got to keep their eyes on the Rams. That is the new dark horse right now. I'm sorry.
They're a fun team. They're a fun team.
They might be a fun team, but they're still the new dark horse.
I agree with that.
Hey, Bruce, you know when you don't know that you ain't supposed to be that good, that's how the Rams are. They're a young team. Yeah. They flying around. If they lose, they lose. But they're those rookies they got from Florida State versus Fisk. Man, them boys, they don't know. You see them chasing Aaron Rodgers, they said, we don't know we ain't supposed to sling him down like that. They can't. They out there having fun. You know?
I'm gonna tell you why I'm more concerned with the Rams. Number one, didn't O'Connell come from the Rams organization?
Yeah, he was the first one.
Now, so
they
they
won the
sort
Super
of
Bowl with him.
they got a
offensive
bead
coordinator.
on
He was the first
him
one.
as to what he can do. And on top of that, watching that Minnesota Rams game, it seemed like the Rams had Minnesota's number in that game. And if that holds true, that could be a problem, even if the game's in Minnesota.
But Minnesota runs the Rams offense. O'Connell was the Rams offensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowl. And the year that they lost, the Cincinnati's was their offensive quarterback. Coordinator. They all came from the Rams organization. The black guy that's for the Chicago Bears now, he came from the Rams. So, yeah.
All right. Let me just say this is a sports talk on the WJRG television network, part of the KMI Media International. Download the free app, go to your Apple Store or your Google Play Store, and you can watch us anytime, 24 hours a day, with great ministries and also our sports talk show. Henry, I'm going to start with you, bro, on this one. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Jalen Hurts, he got hurt Sunday, and what's Philly chances now? Because the Bishop talking about Minnesota all of a sudden going to the Super Bowl. What about Philly, man? Let's talk about them for a minute.
Well, when Jalen Hurts got hurt in the first quarter with a concussion, they was up 14-0. They was rolling. They was playing good. And when he got hurt, it just changed their whole offense because now the defense were able to, even though Brockton still had a good game, it should, because now it just changed their offense. Even though Washington won, Philly is still one of them teams that they could win the NFC and get to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I mean, so because they was really on a good roll, because if you look at it, they was up 14-0, and then Hurts got hurt.
Yeah.
And they weren't the same team after that. That's my thing.
All right, let me go, Larry. Larry, the Eagles, man. What'd you think?
My thing, the Eagles look so bad. They had 5 turnovers. Five turnovers, a 14-point lead, and still couldn't pull it out. Now, if somebody giving you 5 turnovers, there's no way in the world you're supposed to lose that game, especially being up by 14. Tell me what kind of team you're working with.
So the Commanders have 5 turnovers. Now you tell me.
5 turnovers.
Yep.
All right, Bishop, go ahead. Respond to what Larry said.
Just to add to what Larry said, too, I believe those 5 turnovers turned into points for him. And, on something like that. And then again, I got to take into consideration, we're talking about Jaden Daniels, okay? I don't know what to say about this kid, but he seems like he's going to be a force to reckon with down the road. McLaurin doing what he did, and then the Commanders' defense, even though they had the turnovers, was still able to minimize the damage. So I got to take all that into consideration. The Eagles can still possibly get to the NFC Championship game and even to the Super Bowl. The question is, how good is Jalen is Hurts going to be when that time shows up? What's going to be his state of being? Is he going to be 100%, 80%, 90%? What's he going to be? And the team goes as he goes. That's what I say. My opinion.
Nobody could be 100% though, especially going.
No, I'm just saying my opinion. As Jalen Hurts goes, so the team goes. Browns playing great.
That's Kansas City. All the other teams like that, basically, with the quarterback. Go ahead, Pastor. What you think about Philly?
Yeah, Philly's best team in the NFC. Definitely. Ooh. The only reason why Washington won is because Hurts went out. That changed the whole game. I mean, Saquon Barkley, because now they just had to stop Barkley running, and they did in the second half. You see how they were talking about him breaking Eric Dickerson's record. In the first half there. Now Hurts goes out, Pickens come in. He's not a threat to run at all. So now it's almost like the Cowboy thing. You change your whole scheme because the backups in there. Jalen Hurts can't pull the ball back and run. He ain't throwing the bomb. You got Pickens in there now. He just trying to hope that he can make a completion without throwing an interception. So it changed the whole scheme. Now the kid there for the Commanders, he ain't no joke. I mean, they had a couple of times there, you know, you had like 3rd and 11 or 3rd and whatever.
18.
There. So he's good. But the only reason I think if Hurts was there, they would have been able to match their offensive output. When Pickens came in, it was over. You know, he couldn't throw the ball downfield no more. They wasn't afraid of him. So I think Philly is still the class of the NFC. With Detroit out, I think Philly's the class.
Let me go down. I'll go Bruce.
I just want to say this one thing real quick. I just want to say now, Philly could have won that game because the receiver late in the game on that they had a 3rd down, and he dropped the ball.
Game over.
If he would have caught and got the 1st down, they would have ran the clock out, and he would have won the game.
They would have.
Go one more, Smith. Henry. I know you want to go to them, Jerry, but go one more. That one last play, I believe that they stopped them on. I think a pattern was a route was run wrong, wasn't it? Somebody ran a wrong route.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if Devontae Smith would have caught that ball right in his hand, the game was over.
Right. I agree.
But
let me go down. Go ahead, down.
Well, Washington ain't no chump team. So
no.
I knew only being up 2 touchdowns, the boys could come back and win that game. Well, the minute Hurts went out with Pickett coming in. I understand everything you guys are saying, but that game is not a big surprise. Only thing I want to know is Hurts coming back and will he be all right? Because if he's coming back, they're back on track again. Without Hurts, I don't think they're going to be on track.
No, he said he'd be back this week. He said he's playing this week. He's fine.
Go ahead, Bruce.
I'm good.
Philly, man. Philly.
Yeah, what I noticed was now who really that team belonged to. When Barkley was with the Giants, they didn't really see him because of the quarterback.
Okay.
He didn't have a good quarterback, so that held him back a little bit.
Okay.
When he first came to Philly, he running up for MVP.
Right.
Hurts get hurt. He turned right back into the same Barkley he was with the Giants. He needed that quarterback to take the pressure off.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The point I'm trying to make is he couldn't carry that team by itself.
Nope.
Okay. Not that he's not a good running back. He couldn't carry that team by itself.
I got
you. He needed Hurts
to
take that pressure off of him. Wow. Same way he needed a better quarterback when he was with the Giants to really shine. You know what I mean? His shine was way different when he first came to Philly.
Okay.
And now we see that was because of Hurts.
Okay.
I agree.
You agree?
I agree.
Anybody, any more comments on that?
But see, my point is this. You cannot let a team beat you if they give you the ball 5 times. You know what I'm saying? Now, that speaks to the team itself. You know what I'm saying? If I give you the ball 5 times, you know, you should win that game easily. You know what I'm saying? And that was a much better team. Even with Hurts being out, if Washington gave up 5 turnovers, there's no way as a team they should have lost that game.
Well,
but you can't say that. It's not like they scored.
The guy would have caught the ball. He would have caught that ball. They would have had a first down. They could have ran the clock out, and they would have won the game. But he dropped it. He was wide open.
Wide open, hit him right in the hands. But the Lions beat the Texans, golfed through 5 interceptions, and they still won.
They shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but they did.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a testament to their ability to get in the red zone first and foremost. I got to agree with Larry. 5 turnovers, you got to turn them turnovers into points. I don't care. Huh?
You don't have a leader. It's hard without a leader sometimes.
And I do understand that.
It makes a
difference. Jalen Hurts was hurt. And he wasn't
I understand all that.
He got hurt in the first quarter.
Yeah. Even I get that, but at that same time, you had 5 opportunities to put some points on the board, and you only got a field goal out. You got a field goal out of 2 of them, I believe.
Who's going to put the points on the board? Your quarterback.
Well, listen, I know they were stacking the box on Saquon Barkley, but they do have other receivers. A.J. Brown was doing all he could do, and their tight end was doing all he could do. I mean, they have to find a way to get it done. End of story.
Bruce. That's right, Bruce. If he would have had Cooper Rush there, they'd have won.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll go along with that. Hey,
You got
in
Kenny
that
Pickett.
case, if they had Brock Purdy, they would have won.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
they would have won.
I'm just saying this: the guy would have caught the ball, the big wide receiver,
Yeah.
Philly would have won the game. They would have won it.
And you know what else too? Somebody mentioned Daniels. Don't take the credit away from him because he was.
Oh no, I said he's a great player.
That great defense that Philly Pollard had. He was smoking them.
He was.
Daniel was
man.
throwing balls, man.
The Giants always have a great game against the Eagles. It's just this last time.
You know what, Bruce? Their other wide receiver came back. Jamison Crowder, the touchdown. I think that was his first game back.
Yes.
You know, Crowder came back and they had the other one. Before they just had McLaurin. Now there are two other wide receivers.
Yep.
We're back.
I think they know what the rookie of the year going now.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We already know who the rookie of the year is.
Oh yeah, no, that's without doubt.
But listen. Let me move on. Since we're talking football again, I know it's, time go by fast when we get into this thing. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Steelers 34-17. Both teams are tied with the record of 10-5 for the division. Which team are you guys picking to win the division? Let me go with you, Larry. Baltimore or Pittsburgh?
There's no doubt. Pittsburgh got a hard way to go. They got to face KC, which that's a loss. They got to run up against Cincinnati, which is trying to get into the playoffs. The Ravens is going to win it hands down. Those things. They're going to win it hands down.
They're going with Baltimore?
Baltimore's going to win it hands down. They're going to walk away with it.
Pittsburgh blew it.
Yeah, but same as you, Pastor. You believe that too? Baltimore?
Yeah, I go with the Ravens. Yeah. Well, the Steelers. Pickens ain't back yet, is he? Their wide receiver.
No,
I think he's still
not
out
yet.
too.
No, he's still out.
That's their deep threat. And Watt's out. Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens.
What about you, Bishop?
I'm riding the Ravens. I can still see King Henry ain't finished yet. So I'm riding the Ravens.
What about you, bro?
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens because like Larry was saying, on Christmas Day, Pittsburgh, they got a loss. They got to play Kansas City. That's going to be a loss.
That's the loss. What about you, Don?
I guess it's unanimous around here.
I'm going to Ravens, but I like Pittsburgh though. But go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh blew it, man.
Yeah.
This game blew it because
But the Ravens, isn't there a team that we was talking about in the first part of the year that might make it win the Super Bowl? I mean, what's
still there. Still said it. Ain't nothing changed.
Except for Larry. Larry's the only one that's sticking to his guns.
Not be opposed to. I mean, ain't none of us can bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
No matter how good or how bad they play.
One leg ain't good enough. You got to break both legs.
Exactly.
Well, we know
That's really really good, man. Tell you, one leg ain't good enough. You got to break both legs.
14-1.
Hey, Don, even crawling, Patrick Mahomes will find a way to win. I promise you.
Trust me.
So out of the last, let's say, out of the last 20 games, only lost like one game. I think about even going back to last year. It's hard to beat this team then.
Hard to beat them.
Hard to beat them.
Like they said, as long as they got number 15, they ain't worried about nothing else.
Hey, Bruce, I'm going to throw a combination in there. Number 15 and one of the best coaches in the game in Andy Reid. I got to go that combination.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is he better than Tom Brady then, man? During that time or what? What do you
I
think?
don't want to even put that out there right now. You know why? He's not quite to his prime, but he's on his way.
But you guys saying along the 15. I mean, you're better than Michael Jordan then.
No. Well, all right, let's do this then, Jerry. How many years has Mahomes been in the league? Let's find these stats out. Let's talk about it. Find out where was Brady at the same spot where Mahomes is, and let's find out who's better on that. If it's his fourth year in the league.
No, I think it's his sixth year.
Okay, so where was Brady in his sixth year? What were Brady's numbers in his sixth year?
I think this is Mahomes' seventh year because they said he went to the finals 6 years straight.
Yeah, well, my point is, if you're going to compare the two, let's find out where they were in the same scenario. In other words, those 6 years.
when I'm talking about
That's what you got to do.
when I'm talking about comparison, because you already said
That's what I'm talking about. Comparison. 6 years. If Mahomes has 7 years in the league, Brady's 7 years in the league, what do we have? And I know he's got a couple of Super Bowls under his belt coming in, but then again, I mean, I'm not going to make no circumstances or excuses for him. Quarterback to quarterback, where were they percentage-wise? Where were they touchdowns to INTs? You know, put it all together. Let's find out who's better.
I'm not talking about paper. I'm talking about the fear factor. Because you brought up.
You think they ain't scared of Mahomes?
I'm saying the fear factor. I mean,
no, people were more scared of Mahomes than they were with Brady because they figured Brady. Everybody thought Brady was beatable until they had to face him. But they're scared. To me, Patrick Mahomes is a similarity to a Mike Tyson when he was the beast that he was in the beginning. Oh man, I gotta play Mahomes. Are you kidding me? That's pretty much what. And Larry, I don't want your head to get any bigger because we ain't got much screen here, bro. No. But seriously, realistically speaking, there are a lot of teams that prepare literally for Mahomes more so than anything else. And when Brady played, a lot of teams, they prepared for the Patriots, not necessarily, and Bill Belichick with Brady, not Mahomes by himself.
Okay. Then you got Pat Mahomes over Brady then. Go ahead, Henry. What do you think? We're talking about is Pat Mahomes comparison to Brady. Because they said as long as you got number 15 out there.
Well, I think with both quarterbacks, when it came down to the last drive and they had to make the winning drive, I think both quarterbacks were feared as far as the defense got to face them. That's my take. That's the whole thing because the whole thing I think with both quarterbacks, when you look, they had to make that winning drive. How many times did they make the winning drive? I have to say they to me they were equal.
They're equal. Okay,
I don't think one over the other. As far as on that, but as far as more talented, Patrick Mahomes is more talented than Tom Brady.
All right, go ahead, Pastor.
Well, that goes back to when we were talking about the basketball thing. Just because the one that could have a better. We talked about. Remember, we were talking about the greatest Laker. You know, we was talking about that before. Patrick Mahomes is more talented than Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Patrick Mahomes is more talented than Tom Brady. You know, but is he better? You can't say he's better. Tom Brady got more titles, and I seen Tom Brady come back against the Falcons and the Super Bowl.
Yes,
I see him go all the way back. You know, so I don't think he's better. And then with you had Bill Belichick, who's probably the greatest coach of all time with them. You know, he just did stuff that put him in a situation to win, which is with Andy Reid too. Now you got to remember, Patrick Mahomes wasn't a number one draft pick coming out of college.
Nope.
People thought he was too reckless with the ball. They thought he was too reckless. They thought he took too many chances. Andy Reid said, "Just let him play his game." So he's in a great match. You know, he's in a great situation.
Right, you got a good coach too.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Go ahead, Larry.
But if you was building your football team, you would rather have Pat Mahomes than Brady any day of the week, because the simple fact that he is the best athlete, he's going to get you more, and just with his pure talent alone, you know, he can run, he can pass, he got trickery. I mean, people don't even know what's coming from stuff he does sometimes, you know. He'd be running the ball and fake like he passed it and have you looking stupid. And then he's down the field for about 20 yards.
But Brady won with less than anybody. I mean, you couldn't look at that Patriot team. I mean, you couldn't look at that Patriots team and say, "Wow, Randy Moss was the best wide receiver he ever had, ever." You know, other than that, he had defensive backs. He had defensive backs playing wide receiver in the Super Bowl.
He didn't have a choice.
And still won. You know what I mean? But because he had a great coach, like when they played the Rams, you playing the greatest show on turf. You know, they should have never even won that game, but Belichick out-coached Mike Martz. Just out-coached him. He was rushing 2, dropping back 8 and stuff like that. You never heard of, stuff like that. He was like, okay, throw the ball. Throw the ball.
Come on, I dare you.
All right, Bruce, what you think?
You always have haters. You always have haters.
Brady and Mahomes.
No, it's not a hater.
It's not haters. It's
no,
how you
Mahomes
say, Larry. It's not a hater. It's true.
Better, more talented. Yeah.
It's true.
Let me go, Bruce. Go ahead, Bruce.
I just don't think it's fair to compare where Patrick Mahomes at now compared to Brady's whole career. I don't think it's fair to Mahomes.
Okay.
There's nowhere in the world Mahomes could win if you compare Brady's whole career, because he hasn't played that many years yet.
Okay.
But if you go back to both of them, the first 6 years or first 7 years,
there go Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes got him. He never missed the playoffs.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's what you got to look at now. He still got a chance to outdo Brady with the years to come, and he's going for a three-peat.
He's going for a three-peat, right?
You know what I mean?
Brady
No, never had a three-peat.
I mean,
nobody ever had a
no one ever had one.
This is something special, man. I mean, they're gonna be talking about this guy for years, man.
Oh, yeah, if he go three-peat, without a doubt.
You know, even if he don't go three-peat, if he miss it this year and come back next year and get it, they already talking about him as being the GOAT.
Okay.
Because he never missed a final,
right?
The conference finals.
Right.
You know, so that's special within itself.
Okay, Don, what you think about Pat Mahomes and Brady, man?
Brady's the GOAT until Pat Mahomes moves him out. That's the way I see it.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And how do you got to move him out though?
Well, this three-peat will be stepping on his neck. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Around to win a few more, that might be it.
And even if he just gets to if he gets to a three-peat, hypothetically. Now think about this. Even if he just gets to the AFC Championship game, he might have stepped on his throat, but I think he just crushed his trachea on that one.
No, he got to win it.
Well, no, you get to the final. I mean, how many times? You know what, Larry, to my three-peat, I'll see you in the Super Bowl, pal. That's
I guarantee it.
Hey, Larry, how great is it going to feel to beat the Vikings?
You gonna get to beat the Vikings? Oh, woo!
Okay, Larry, you might as well learn this song now. Purple haze, purple haze.
Y'all, y'all. Listen. Henry got a question about LeBron. I'm going to do a little basketball for a minute before we sign off. I know time is getting late. The question is, LeBron James set another record by passing Kareem for the most minutes played in the regular season. He's the only player in NBA history to have a scoring average of 25 or more points for 20 consecutive seasons. Also, the only NBA player to score 40,000 points, 11,000 rebounds, and 11,000 assists. He is also the NBA playoff leader in points. Why LeBron James will never outpass Michael Jordan? Start with you. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to suggest because LeBron, we can always talk about him. There's other couple of topics because we're getting ready to close out. That I think I wanted, like one was about the Rams because the Rams are learning the 6 about winning the division, and also Ricky Anderson.
Yeah,
right.
He's up there also, and also the boy that won the Heisman Trophy for Colorado. I just because LeBron always talk about LeBron.
And pick the topic, just
absolutely.
Go real fast. Because 650.
The Rams. Well, yeah, I'll take that part. The Rams, man. The Rams look good, man. The Rams look good. They started off 2-4 or whatever it was. And they done won like 5 of the last 6. They just lost to the Eagles. It's their only loss, and they look good, man. I thought that the Jets was going to be a trap game, because the Rams don't play well, against a team like the Jets. They just had that big win, but they hung in there. I mean, the Jets got off to a good start. They came back and they both missed the extra point, but then they took off. They shut the run game down. They, some good defensive plays when he was trying to go to 17, and their defensive backs not that good. I like the Rams. To me, I think they're a scary team. because they lost to Detroit in Detroit last year. That was a close game, and Detroit's on fire. They lost to Detroit
You
this
heard me
year
say
by
already.
1 point in Detroit with everybody against them. So I mean, they're scary.
You heard me say earlier that is the new dark horse. That's the team that other teams have to pay attention to. And right now they're sliding under the radar. Nobody's really talking about them a whole lot. And the next thing you know, I think the Rams is going to sucker punch somebody. I'm just hoping it's not us. But the Rams is going to sucker punch a couple of teams in the playoffs. Wait and see.
It just depends on who they get matched up with.
The Rams,
that's exactly right.
They won the Super Bowl about 3 years ago, right? So
but see, my point is, Jerry, nobody's talking about the Rams. Same way they didn't talk about Minnesota. Now everybody's talking about Minnesota. But the Rams are in that same position right now. Nobody's talking about them. But here they come.
The Rams are Green Bay. The Rams are Green Bay of last year.
There you go. That's a good analogy. That's a great analogy.
Andy, go ahead with the Rams.
Yeah, well, right now I think they got 2 games left, and they're 9-6, the leader of the division. So if they win the division, they would host. I believe they would host a playoff game.
They will.
So it depends on whoever one of the wild card teams would have to. So that would help the Rams out in the start. Yes, they would host a wild card because I think they'll probably win the division. I don't know what their schedule's like, who they got to play.
Yeah.
But I know they got to win their last 2 games, I believe, because I think they only got a 1-game lead.
Right.
But
They played the Cardinals. They played the Cardinals, and then they played Seattle last game of the year.
Yeah, and if everything holds, they're going to play the Commanders because I think 6 plays 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And 5 plays 3.
And they can beat the Commanders, right?
Yeah, they can. It
depends on if the Commanders. Well, you know what? Now,
Commanders gonna be tough.
The Commanders gonna be tough. But Minnesota, that Minnesota Detroit, whoever loses that division, I mean, if Minnesota lose that, they're gonna be in the wild card because
they're a 5 seed.
Beat them twice.
Yeah, Minnesota's an automatic 5 seed, so 5 is going to play 3.
Yeah.
5 is going to play 3. 6 is going to play. In other words, long story short, the one team with the bye, I forgot who's playing 2. The 4 divisional winners, the last wild card plays the bottom divisional winner, and it moves up from there. So right now, if it started right now, Minnesota being in the 5, actually, believe it or not, Minnesota in the 5 would have to. Good Lord. If we end up being a wild card, we may have to play Philadelphia first.
Go ahead, Larry. The Rams. What do you think, real fast? I go with these guys.
The Rams are a really tough team. Rams can shock somebody. I don't care who they play. Rams can shock anybody. They can even shock Detroit with their defensive problems.
Yeah.
The Rams are the hard team to beat right now, and if you take them lightly, you're going home.
That's right.
Oh, well, okay. Well, it should be like that with every team, really. I mean, every team make the playoffs should be like that.
Nope.
Rams got that offense. You get score. They're gonna score. You got to keep up.
You make the playoffs, man. You can't take them lightly. I don't care who you are. I'll give you Pittsburgh, or I'll give you Baltimore.
Tampa Bay or the Falcons. Either one of them going home.
All right, Bruce, go ahead.
I think,
and it looks like it's going to be the Falcons, by the way.
Go ahead, Bruce.
I think the Rams are another team that they had a lot of guys hurt at the beginning too, like Cooper Kupp and them guys.
Yeah.
All them guys just getting back, and they really getting in the groove now.
Trying to gel.
Yeah, so like I said, they could beat any of them, man. Plus, we always said they got one of the best coaches too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That means a lot when you're coming into the playoffs.
Yeah, the great coach.
So they definitely the dark horse. They might not even be the dark horse now because people see what they can do.
Would you want to?
Tight end just came back, Bruce. The tight end Higbee. That was his first game Sunday. He tore his ACL last year in the playoffs. And yesterday, his first game was Sunday. So they got all their wide receivers. They got all their weapons. Yeah.
How many games did Cooper Kupp miss in the beginning of the year?
He and Puka both missed. What was it? They played the first game and then mixed like the next 4, and it was like 2 and they was like 2 and 4 until they came back.
All right, let me go to Don.
I want to correct something before you go to Don. 7 plays 4, 6 plays 3, 5 plays 2. So if Minnesota doesn't win the NFC, win straight out, then they're gonna be in Philadelphia.
Go ahead, Don. The Rams.
Well, the Rams, I looked at the beginning of the season. I was like, well, the Rams don't look that strong. And then the Rams started winning. They won one. I said, all right. Then the Rams won another one. I was like, okay. Then the Rams won another one. I was like, well, maybe I need to start changing my mind about these Rams. No, the Rams look pretty good right now. I didn't see it at first. But I think the Rams is a threat for anybody out there right now.
Okay. All right. Henry, you brought up Ricky Henderson. He passed
Ricky
away
Henderson. Yeah.
at the age of 65, man. That's young, because that's about
That's
our age.
young.
That's our age. That's my age, really.
Okay.
They ain't your age, Jerry. You almost 70, man. They ain't your age.
I wasn't going to say mine.
That sounded pretty good.
Hey, Pastor, what are you trying to say? Jerry's chasing Methuselah?
I'm walking over my mouth.
Oh, man. No, a baseball player was Ricky Henderson.
Wow.
Best leadoff man. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I agree with Brute, man. The best leadoff hitter of all time.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Ricky Henderson got on base, man. The pitcher stayed nervous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as he got on base, he was like, okay, you might as well just let him, run all the way home, because he's going to distract the pitcher as long as he's out there. So
he got that right.
Yeah.
How many other batters have walked because of Henderson and his distraction?
Yeah, and you know what else? If I'm not mistaken, he was the first man that made $3 million a year. You know what I mean? And then other players start getting it and start taking it up a notch. But if I'm not mistaken, he was the first one.
You might be right, but I'm between him and Ken Griffey, I think, during that time.
I think it was Ricky Henderson, because
You might be right. You might be right. I don't remember.
Go ahead, bro. Ricky Henderson, man. You
was great. Now, when he played with the Yankees, did he play with Reggie Jackson? Do you guys remember?
No, I think
he was they were set two separate eras.
Oh, okay.
Reggie was 70s. Henderson was like early 80s or something like that, mid 80s, something like that.
Okay, because I remember Ricky was with Oakland, but I know he played with the Yankees too. And I couldn't remember who he played with, but there might have been with Darryl Strawberry when the Yankees. I'm not sure when Ricky was there, but Ricky was a great player. He had a lot of charisma. He could hit home runs. He could steal bases. He was a real confident or a cocky ball player. He could play. He reminded me of, if you make Tyreek Hill, the way Tyreek Hill is built, like short, kind of like cocky, like the way, and fast like Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's who I would compare him to, as far as like with built and speed.
Okay, he was
like him and Tim Raines was going back to back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Tim Raines was with Montreal?
Yep.
Him and Andre Dawson.
All right, Larry, what you think about Ricky Henderson? I know he passed away. How great was he as a baseball player?
He was a great baseball player. He said a lot. He made a lot of records, especially stealing bases. You couldn't stop him. He had everybody nervous when he's on base.
Yeah,
everybody did, So, and that was the thing about other people getting advantage of that, because when they're trying to pitch the ball, they worried about him running, and then there was those strikes not being thrown. It was more about him running.
That's right.
Go ahead, Don. Ricky Henderson.
Well, I know the name, and all those big names I hear of, but I didn't watch enough baseball to say I know exactly all his accomplishments. I just know the name. I had certain people I follow. You mentioned Reggie Jackson. Oh yeah, I remember him.
Oh yeah. We all
but other than that, I slept a lot on baseball.
Okay. Travis Hunter win the Heisman Trophy this year. Do you guys agree with this? I never.
Oh yeah.
Travis Hunter. Okay, I'm not too familiar with.
Play with Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah,
ways.
Play with the Buffalo.
He definitely deserved the heat. You never seen a player like him before.
Okay.
He played both sides of the ball equal.
Sure did. And well too.
Made everything on both sides, as a receiver and a defensive back.
Okay.
Every play.
So he deserved it.
NFL as receiver or defensive back. He can start.
He's one of a handful of receivers who got double coverage a lot of the games and still managed to come up with clutch catches.
All
The
kind
best
of
one, I'm trying to remember the game where, I mean, they needed, I'm trying to remember if it was Oklahoma State or who was it. I mean, he was double covered and still, I don't know how he even, I'm still baffled, man. It's on YouTube. I got to remember who they were playing. But right between two defenders, boom, something like what, watch this, something like what Jefferson did last night, but a little closer.
We missed that.
Yeah, we missed that one. The thing about him, man, he's
Hey, I know they saw it because they said they missed it. But go ahead.
Too much smoke.
He was good on both sides. You know what I mean? He could have been All-American on both sides. I said you should be number 1 and number 2 pick because he can either one. You know.
All right.
With the number 3 pick in the NFL draft, because there is no number 2. No,
all right. I guess you want to do this LeBron thing.
Yeah, just real quick, because I didn't get a chance to say anything, but I'm just going on that real quick. When he gets drafted in the NFL, what do you guys think? Is he going to play the offense or defense? NFL ain't going to let him play both.
He may play both. You never can tell.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, but
it depends on what's needed.
As good as he is, you can't afford not to play him on both. I'm not saying as many reps as he got in college, but like somebody was just saying, man, he was catching passes. The guy, 2 guys ought to be catching it under their arm, between their legs, on defense, jumping over guys.
He's good on both sides of the ball.
Both sides.
But if you was a GM, what would you guys do? What position would you have him play? Would you let him play both sides? 17 games in the NFL?
Let him be himself. Just like you said, Andy Reid did with Patrick Mahomes. Let him be himself and see what happens.
I probably, as a GM, would put him on the defensive side and keep him as an offensive, another weapon. You know, like if we're in a clutch situation and we need a score and I need a third receiver, guess who's going in?
He's too good to be a third receiver.
And he might be a third receiver against a team that has 2 good receivers already, but he's just as much of a threat.
What you got to do, you got to throw him out there, let him be himself, and see where the chips fall.
With a guy like him, I'm saying that, Bruce, but if he needs in every position, any GM could see that he can play defense, and most GMs need help on defense.
You know what else? Which one pay the most money?
I think it depends on who drafts them. You know,
that's true. That's very true.
It depends on what that need is. But I think even though I think he's still going to be on both sides of the ball, he'd just be probably like Bruce said, he get more snaps on whichever one their need is. If you get somebody to draft them and they don't have a number 1 wide receiver,
there he goes.
He'll probably get most of the snaps on wide there, but he would probably still come in like in a dime situation or something like that, or vice versa. If they don't have a D-back, you know, you bring him in, you got a special package for him. Often, like you got these big tackles come in, tackle eligible. You got an All-American wide receiver. Defense. Bring him in. You know, so yeah, I think that's what happens.
It depends on who drafts him. If the Panthers take him, you're in trouble because you got to play Dallas again next year. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that.
Pretty good, man.
Yeah, I'm so happy for Bryce Young, man. I'm
glad he found himself.
You know, they benched him. He never complained. He kept a smile on his face, man. You know, I'm happy for him.
Yep.
All right. Sports talk on the Monday night edition. Henry, you want to do this this LeBron thing, or you want to wait the next time?
No, it's up to you. I just didn't want to lose them because I didn't know what time you was closing out. I didn't want to.
I'm on the big rush. All right. The topic was LeBron James set another record by passing Kareem for the most minutes played in the regular season. He's the only player in history to have a scoring average of 25 or more points for 20 consecutive seasons. Also, the only player to score 40,000 points, 11,000 rebounds, and 11,000 points. He is also the NBA playoffs leader in points. Why LeBron James will never outpass Michael Jordan? That's a topic we always talk about. So I'll start with you, Andy. Is your topic? You asked the question, why won't he ever outpass Michael Jordan then?
You know, to me, he has, but I can't speak to everybody else because he keeps breaking records. You know, again, like he just passed Kareem. He got all kinds of records he's breaking. But to me, he's like the people that put Michael Jordan are gonna stay there. And I don't think there's nothing because LeBron maybe gonna play maybe another year if he plays another year. I don't feel what else he can really do that would change that narrative. I mean, I don't know what else. You know, he's not gonna break world champions record, score 100 points in a game.
But he broke that record. That wouldn't mean nothing either. All right, so
Right, so that would be my take. I don't think there's nothing in his career that he can do that would change it. Even if he won the championship this year and the MVP, he would still be behind Michael Jordan. To those that
love Michael Jordan, right? That's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that would be.
Bishop. Let me go, Bishop.
Well, I'm going to look at it from a different perspective, and you know, don't beat up on me on this. When I look at the two eras, LeBron James has had a very, very, very good career. He's played against some quality players, but I think the level of competition that Michael Jordan played against was a bit stiffer, and it was a lot heavier, which means that he had a bigger fight on his hands. I'm not going to look at the fact that his first 3 or 4 years he didn't get to an NBA final. I'm just going to look at the fact that look at the people he has stopped from getting rings compared to the people that LeBron stopped from getting rings. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I mean, you don't stop a Charles Barkley, a Karl Malone, a Patrick Ewing, and the list goes on and on and on for people that, you know, what's Nance's last name? He used to play for Cleveland. Larry Nance. I mean, he stopped a lot of prominent players that should have ended up with rings, but because of Michael Jordan, they didn't get there. On top of the fact that let me finish this. On top of the fact that he had not one, but 2 3-peats. Not one, but 2. Back to back. He had 2 of them.
But Scotty and Dennis Rodman too, though. Put the guys.
It doesn't matter who he had. The point is, who else? And I'm not comparing. I don't want to compare him in terms of stats with LeBron. How many of these players have had not one, but 2 separate back-to-back years for NBA titles? Okay. He's the only one right now, except for what the Celtics did back in their era.
Yeah, but you know what the problem I got with this when you say he stopped everybody? This guy played what? How many years he played?
14
I'm not even sure.
And he only got 6 rings. So how did he stop everybody?
He 15 years.
When he only got 6 out of 15. What happened to the other 10 or the other 9?
I'm talking about his back-to-back reigns. He stopped
I understand that, but I'm saying everybody keeps saying Michael Jordan stopped all them guys. They all played over 10 years. Mm-hmm. He only won 6. Mm-hmm. So who won the other ones?
Been to 6.
Who won the other championships? If
I gotta go back and look.
Every one of them guys that you mentioned played over 10 years. Mike only got 6. What other years?
They played in that era, and they didn't get to the finals in that era. When they finally got to the finals, they were put to rest.
I'm saying he only won 6.
I got you on the 6. But
all the guys played in the same era. Ewing, Karl Malone, all them guys played in the same era.
Barkley was in that era. Ewing's in that era. Malone was in that era. You had which Lakers were in that era? Elijah was in that era. Who else was in that era? I'm going in my mind. Okay.
Reggie Miller.
You overlooked what right. He got 6 out of 15 years. Right. 6 out of 15. That's what he said.
He didn't basically stop everybody.
I got the fact that he got 6, but did he go 1, 2, 3, take a year off, play baseball, found out that he stunk, and then came back and went 1, 2, 3?
It don't matter how he got them. He didn't single-handedly stop them guys from getting rings.
And he didn't get
like it. When he had to face them for the right to be crowned champion, he put him to rest.
Yeah, but what happened when he didn't face them? Who won them then?
That's a good question. I couldn't tell you because I remember the Lakers were in there.
I know Pat's waiting to say, so go ahead, Pastor.
I forgot what the question was. All that. What was that? What's the question?
Can LeBron outpass Michael Jordan? That's the question.
No.
Or out of all the stats that LeBron did,
Stats,
40,
yeah, with stats because he keep on playing, so he's gonna keep compiling stats. Yeah, he's gonna keep playing, so no one is gonna play as long. Look, put it this way: no one is going to play. No one's gonna play as long in as well as LeBron is. They might stay there for 50, 60 years, but they're not gonna play as well as LeBron is. That's why I keep saying LeBron has had a better career. But just like we was talking about with Pat Mahomes and Brady, I'm glad you came to this. Pat Mahomes is a better athlete. Michael Jordan is a more dynamic and a better player than LeBron. That's my opinion.
More exciting. Put it like that.
My opinion. And like Michael said, he's about the rings and not the stacks. Mike got 6-0. And that's why he ain't gonna never be able to beat him. He's 6-0 in the championship.
Thank you.
And I'm not a Michael fan. I'm not a Michael fan.
Said.
I'm a Magic
fan. Hey, Bruce. Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, but check this out. I told Jerry.
What about Bill Russell though? That case, Bishop.
But you didn't say that. The question is,
Bill Russell. We're talking LeBron and Michael right now.
What of the race? 6-0. You said he's 6-0.
But the question is, will he pass Michael Jordan? So now make the question and say, will he pass Bill Russell? That's another question.
Okay, all right. I understand.
Okay. Years ago, we was at work and we was in the human area. We was standing by the human area, and we was talking about this then. And I told you, I said, and this was way before he got all these records.
Right.
I tell you, no matter what LeBron do, public opinion, they'll never put him in front of Michael.
Yeah,
I told you that way back.
And the guy,
and it's still the same way.
Right.
Look at all the compliments he did, and they said, Mike.
Yeah,
John Havlicek 10-0.
Yeah, and the man won for 3 different franchises. I mean, you're never going to pass Mike to some people. What about you, Larry? Before I move on,
Michael is Michael. He was the most exciting player.
Yes, he was.
That ever. People was mesmerized by him. They couldn't stop him. They didn't know what to do with him. I used to watch Mike, and I get so mad by him be killing people. I said, "Whoa, somebody stop him!" But he's gonna be remembered for that. Those 6 titles, them 6 rings. Nobody can't match that.
No, I agree. Go ahead, Don.
LeBron,
player he is and will ever be.
Had his chance to match it. He didn't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? He had his shot at it. He didn't do it. He probably should have went 4 straight when he was in Miami, but he didn't do it.
Well, it's hard to beat Tim Duncan.
It's hard. I mean, it was hard for Michael, so you can't use that.
No.
It was hard for Michael, but he did.
But who the guys Michael beat, though, Don?
It don't matter.
It does matter.
Let's talk about the fact that he didn't do it.
He beat Clyde Drexler. I mean, who was
It don't matter.
He beat Olajuwon, old David Thompson.
No. He beat Clyde Drexler.
Anytime you three
he
twice.
beat Charles Barkley.
You always want to break that down. That don't mean nothing.
He beat Sean
The
Kemp,
point is,
Gary Payton, and
the
he beat
point
Karl
is,
Malone.
Michael didn't beat who he had to beat.
He beat Patrick Ewing.
I'm not taking away from it. It's hard to beat Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson.
He beat him.
Come on,
we would be having this conversation. He didn't beat him.
He brought him to eras. It's hard to beat a Klay Thompson or Tim Duncan, Ginobili.
He didn't beat him.
I agree with you. Michael didn't beat Larry Bird either.
That's why Michael will always be
Michael didn't beat Larry Bird either. He beat Isaiah Thomas.
But that's why Michael will always be the champ. 2-3 peats is what make Michael the champ. Everybody telling you that.
Hold on. You gotta stop. Stop for a minute. His first championship, he did beat Isaiah Thompson in the Eastern Finals. That's how he got to his first championship. So he did beat Isaiah. He didn't beat it. He beat when he couldn't get past Isaiah Thompson. When he finally got past the Pistons, that was when he started his first three-peat.
I understand.
He did beat him. So you're naming people, and all these people you mentioned, he did beat.
Why did he beat Larry Bird then, Bishop?
Did he play Larry Bird?
And he didn't play in the playoffs.
Not in the finals. He played Larry Bird twice in the Eastern Conference Final and lost twice.
But Jerry, you know what? I think
you just can't reach him because of the finals. If you're gonna just hold a man because just the finals,
that's what counts.
You can't do that.
The finals is what counts. You got to get to the Eastern. Let me say this, Pastor. I'm gonna back up on you. You got to beat whoever you're playing in the Eastern Conference Finals to get to the championship.
I've been to 10 finals. He been to 10. Mike been to 6. He been to 10.
Yeah, but
listen,
you know
what I say, Jerry?
6.
Listen to this. The thing about, what I think to me too, also, because as you know, I'm not a Michael fan. I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Magic fan. My thing is, and this is why I picked Mike over him. Mike was the only one, like Larry said, that could not be stopped. All these people, all these teams went and they got people like they got Dennis Johnson to stop Magic, and he stopped them. They got John Sally. They put John Sally on Worthy to stop Worthy when they played. Michael didn't have a pair. He didn't have someone that they put on him and say, okay, we're gonna play the Bulls and we're gonna put Bruce on Mike and shut him down. It was impossible. That's why I picked him. He was unstoppable.
You know what else people not taking into consideration? The team that they had when LeBron went up against San Antonio, he was basically by himself.
Yeah,
never by himself. So you can't hold that against them. That's like we talk about Patrick Mahomes, the other teams that got more receivers.
Why you say that?
And all of that. I'm saying,
Michael, why you say LeBron by himself? Was he in Miami then?
No. I'm saying what I'm saying is he didn't go to all 10 championships in Miami.
No, but
he
you
took
said
Cleveland,
when he went up against the Spurs.
Who beat them? Who beat them in San Antonio? Beat Miami, right?
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying
Dallas.
They beat Cleveland. Who beat LeBron in Cleveland when they first started?
I didn't even mention
Mavericks.
San Antonio beat Cleveland. Dallas beat Miami.
He didn't have good
Dallas
players
beat Miami with Nowitzki.
That's the difference.
I'm sorry. So go ahead, pass the ball.
No, I said no. San Antonio beat Cleveland when he was by himself, but Dallas with Dirk Nowitzki beat Miami.
That's right.
And they beat the Lakers too. They swept Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, no, but we ain't talking about that. We talking about LeBron.
I'm just saying.
was LeBron's chance and he didn't win.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Dallas was a good team, though.
Dwayne Wade was there.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But Dallas, see, it ain't like Dallas wasn't a good team, though.
They were a good team, but they wasn't better than Miami.
No, listen. Pastor.
That don't matter.
Did Dallas sweep the Lakers the series before that? Did they sweep the Lakers with Kobe Bryant?
Yeah, but the Lakers wasn't good as Miami.
Did they sweep Kobe Bryant, Walt?
But it don't matter.
So what? That's Kobe Bryant.
You gotta look at the quality of players. Look at the quality of players.
That's all we're talking about. It don't matter who beat him.
But give Dallas some credit, though. That's my point.
It don't matter who beat him.
It don't matter.
No, it don't.
Jerry.
Larry Bird.
You know what?
Why did he beat Larry Bird?
You used to say
Why did he beat Larry Bird?
Who else was on Dallas team? Who else was on that Dallas team?
Let me say something.
No, say it.
Me and Jerry always said LeBron James didn't have the eye of the tiger. That's why he didn't do it. Now, don't change your words. Both used to say it.
Come on.
So let's just leave it at that.
He scored 63 points. Did he do that? Did he get swept?
Hey, Don. With that statement, Pastor Walt, watch it. With that statement Don just made, well.
He averaged over 40-something points against Larry Bird and get swept. Yes or no?
He didn't have the eye of the tiger.
He had the eye of the tiger.
He didn't do what LeBron James did.
Come on, man.
We used to always say Michael Jordan had that.
He didn't have that killer instinct.
We always said Michael Jordan had it and LeBron James didn't.
No, we know that.
That's what he said when he said the eye of the tiger.
No, I go along with
that killer instinct.
But he still lost the bird.
So all that other stuff don't matter.
See, no, the point I'm saying,
played a big part.
You can be a good player, but if you got a better, if the team is better than you or your team, you're going to lose.
And if you got scored, maybe when you go down the middle and you got that eye of the tiger, you don't pass it in the corner. You take it all away.
Well, when you got guys like John Paxson or Steve Kerr to pass it to, I mean, hey, that helps.
He didn't always have them though.
Jerry, who had a better team? Who had a better team? Who had a better team? Dallas or Miami when they went? Who else was on that team with Dirk Nowitzki? Who else was on that team?
Jason Kidd.
The same team that beat Dallas. I mean, beat the Lakers.
Yeah, but who? I asked you a question. Who was on the team?
Jason Terry. They had
who's Jason Terry?
Jason Kidd.
Who's Jason Terry?
Kidd was playing the point.
He was a journeyman.
Yeah, but he ain't no all-star.
No. What? I'm not saying that he should have beat Dallas or not. The only thing I'm saying, if a team is better, because LeBron had to go up against some pretty good teams. I mean, because in that, like Bruce said, Mike only went to the finals 6 times. Why? Because he couldn't beat Larry and them boys. He couldn't beat those guys. Couldn't beat the Bucks. I mean,
Larry
at that time, huh?
Yeah,
when he went to
Celtics
the
had a great
championship
team, man.
game, let me ask you this question:
What about the
how
Golden
many
State Warriors?
of those championship games did he lose? How many championships did he lose?
That's considered the Celtics had a good team. What the Golden State Warriors had
I'm
a great
asking,
team?
how many NBA championships?
Golden State Warriors, huh?
How many did he lose?
How many who lose?
Huh?
Michael?
Michael Jordan. How many did he lose?
He was 6-0, Bishop. We know that.
End of story. We're done.
No,
6-0. Okay. In that case, Joe Montana's 4-0.
I mean,
That making
and listen,
how many
Joe
times?
yeah, he good. He a great player.
No, yeah. But Bruce has a question, Bishop.
How many times Jordan get knocked out in the first round?
About 4 or 5 times.
And that don't mean nothing.
It means a whole lot. We're talking about the championship now. He didn't have anybody. What he had to work with, he had to work with. He tried to do it by himself. Finally, when he got Scottie Pippen,
Jordan, LeBron.
well, LeBron didn't have nobody to work with. And when he won his first title, it was the second year. I guess he had Thompson and who's the kid that played?
He went to Miami his first year with Dwayne Wade, and they beat him.
No, he didn't. Okay, with the Miami first, and then back to Cleveland. Okay,
He didn't win it, but he was a young boy. He took them to the finals.
Bishop,
Yeah.
Bishop, my question to you, and then we'll hang up. LeBron went to the finals 10 times. Now, that don't mean nothing because think about it for a second. Carmelo Anthony never went to the finals.
never.
Allen Iverson only went to the finals 1 time.
LeBron's better than Carmelo.
Huh?
LeBron's
better
much
than
better
Carmelo.
than
I'm
Carmelo.
talking about finals. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
finals.
but he's better than Carmelo. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying he never went to the finals.
And that was with
Yeah, we ain't
OKC,
comparing
if
him.
I'm
We're
not
comparing him
mistaken.
with Jordan. He's better
Allen
than Carmelo.
Iverson never went to the finals. I'm
He's
talking
better
about
than Allen Iverson.
finals.
He's
Reggie
better
Miller
than
been
Allen
there
Iverson.
Dominic never been to the finals.
Better than Reggie.
It's easy to get to the finals.
We agree.
The man been there 10 times.
We agree.
And he's better than all those. He's better than all those people you said.
We're trying to compare him to Michael Jordan.
Right. He's better than everybody you just said.
What else? Gotta give no credit down at all.
The something with Michael Jordan and
Okay,
LeBron
all right,
James.
okay.
We're not
That was the subject. You're right.
He's better than all those people you just said. He's better than them.
But you all,
Hey, CJ, what you did was you made a quality cereal and then you put fillers in it. We're gonna take the fillers back out.
example,
Hey,
as the team brought up when Tom Brady beat the Atlanta Falcons, right, 28-3, right. So, but the defense of the Patriots, they don't get no credit at all when they stopped the Atlanta Falcons. When Tom made his run, Tom got all the credit, but the defense got no credit whatsoever when they scored.
Atlanta went to sleep, Jerry. In the second half, Atlanta was just sleepwalking. They weren't even. I'm not even sure where they were in that set. That the team that played that first half and
Defense got no credit, Bishop.
I
Defense did a great job.
can only give credit to this
They
point.
give another point. There were 28.
But you know why, Jerry? You know why, Jerry?
First half of that game, Atlanta played like a beast. The second half of that game, Atlanta was in the bed sleep, thinking they had it.
You know
in the
why,
bag.
Jerry? And
Go
that
ahead,
same
Scott.
coach, done been to the Super Bowl and hasn't won yet. Who's the coach? That same
Bill Belichick.
offensive coordinator that choked, right, is now the head coach of the 49ers.
Yeah,
Same
but I'm
one.
saying to you, but
He's the
defense
same one.
get no credit. But they don't get no credit.
Oh, yeah, they get credit. They
No,
stopped
I'm
them.
just saying.
No,
They
Tom,
get credit for the first half only.
Of course,
Tom get the credit.
Henry, all he had to do was what? Run the ball and run out the clock.
Yeah, right.
That's all he had to do. And he tried to
all
throw
right,
it
you
back
guys.
and left
It's
time on the clock.
Over 7:30. I got you guys here all night.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we talking sports. We can be here all night.
Now we done. I'm done, bro.
Me too, bro. I got to eat dinner. I ain't seen dinner yet, and I ain't seen and Pastor. I ain't seen Mrs. Richard all day, so it's time to go.
Henry, close out in prayer, brother. Henry,
Yes,
go
sir.
out.
All right. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your love, your grace, your mercy, your loving kindness. And Father, we ask that you bless all the listeners tonight, God. Bless for everyone that was on the show tonight, God, in the name of Jesus.
Yes,
And
God.
thank you for the greatest gift that you have given us was your son, which you get
Yes.
to celebrate Wednesday. And we thank you in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, you
Greatest
guys.
gift of them all, the gift of
That's
forgiveness.
right.
The gift of
All right.
forgiveness.
Merry
Greatest gift of
Christmas to
all.
all. And may
And these
you
are great topics tonight too, bro. Great topics, man. All right. All right,
That's
you guys.
all.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Have a good one.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas. Have a good holiday.
All right, blessed night.
Y'all have a good holiday, man.
Yes.